Hello, and thank you for being here today, in which I teach you how to cure male pattern balding. And thank you so much for tuning in. um, I- Thanks for being here for today's daily Catholic Mass readings, in which I read the Holy Scripture from today's daily Catholic Mass. And today is Thursday, November 18th, and the optional memorial today is for Saint Rose Philippine Duquesne. And Saint Rose was a religious sister, a nun from France, whom, when she was 49 years old, she had this desire to come over to America and help with the Native Americans and help spread Catholicism to the Native Americans. She initially went to St. Louis, and then the Archbishop there told her, "Oh, we don't have a place for you to do your work here." So she eventually made her way to an area called St. Charles, Missouri, and then she also worked in some other areas. She founded the first free Catholic school for girls, and then she also founded the first Catholic school for Native Americans. So today our first reading is from 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, lines 15 through 29. And I just want to say, before I get into this, Maccabees is essentially the stuff that movies are made of. We're going through a pretty intense road right now with kind of the visions and what comes into my mind. But wait till you get to hear today. The officers of the king in charge of enforcing the apostasy came to the city of Modain to organize the sacrifices. Many of Israel joined them, but Mattathias and his sons gathered in a group apart. Then the officers of the king addressed Mattathias, "You are a leader, an honorable and great man in this city, supported by sons and kins. Come now, be the first to obey the king's command. As all the Gentiles and the men of Judah and those who are left in Jerusalem have done, then you and your sons shall be numbered among the king's friends, and shall be enriched with silver and gold and many gifts." But Mattathias answered in a loud voice, "Although all the Gentiles in the king's realm obey him, so that each forsakes the religion of his fathers and consents to the king's orders, yet I and my sons and my kin will keep to the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the commandments. We will not obey the words of the king, nor depart from our religion in the slightest decree." As he finished saying these words, a certain Jew came forward in the sight of all to offer sacrifice on the altar in Modain, according to the king's order. When Mattathias saw him, he was filled with zeal, his heart was moved, and his just fury was aroused. He sprang forward and killed him upon the altar. At the same time, he also killed the messenger of the king, who was forcing them to sacrifice, and he tore down the altar. Thus he showed his zeal for the law, just as Phinehas did with Zimri, son of Salu. Then Mattathias went through the city, shouting, "Let everyone who is zealous for the law and who stands by the covenant follow after me." Thereupon he fled to the mountains with his sons, leaving behind in the city all their possessions. Many who sought to live according to righteousness and religious custom went out into the desert to settle there. The word of the Lord. Today's responsorial psalm is from Psalm 50. The response is, "To the upright I will show the saving power of God." God the Lord has spoken and summoned the earth, from the rising of the sun to its setting. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Gather my faithful ones before me, those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens proclaim his justice, for God himself is the judge. Offer to God praise as your sacrifice, and fulfill your vows to the Most High. Then call upon me in time of distress. I will rescue you, and you shall glorify me. And the response is, "To the upright I will show the saving power of God." Then our gospel today is according to St. Luke from chapter 19, lines 41 through 44. As Jesus drew near Jerusalem, he saw the city and wept over it, saying, "If this day you only knew what makes for peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. For the days are coming upon when your enemies will raise a palisade against you. They will encircle you and hem you in on all sides. They will smash you to the ground and your children within you, and they will not leave one stone upon another within you, because you did not recognize the time of your visitation." The Gospel of the Lord. So we have Mattathias, who kind of reminds me of the king in the movie 300, where he kicks the messenger into the well, and all the Persians go following after. There's this big battle, and they all scream, "This is Sparta!" But I don't think that's the message here, but that's what it reminds me of it. And like I said before, it kind of draws the stuff that movies are made of, at least Maccabees does. But I think there's a more subtle side other than killing in war that we really see from Mattathias. He did what he did, and he did it for God's law, even though one could argue, well, hey, you're not supposed to kill. But I think it's more about what he did afterward. He took those who were being persecuted, and he said, "I'm willing to sacrifice my life for the Lord. Follow me, where you can do the same." And I think it was more about the courage to be a leader so that others can follow you. And I think in kind of combining today's psalm with the gospel from Luke, I think when we look at Jesus's distress, seeing Jerusalem from afar, knowing that he was not going to be accepted, knowing that he was going to sacrifice his life and suffer for what we do today, have done in our past, and most certainly will probably continue to do in our future. I think his heartache came from the fact that he wants love and forgiveness. And I think it's easy to say love, and I think it's easy, very easy to say, "I forgive you." I've had many people in my life who have hurt me, and I have done the same to many others, no question about it. But in coming to terms with that, and I heard Father Mike Schmitz on one of his videos or one of his talks saying, everyone in your life will either disappoint or hurt you at one moment or another. And you hear that and you're like, everyone? Not surely everyone. But if you take that line and really think about it, everyone will hurt you or disappoint you in some form or fashion. So with that being said, how do we forgive? And how do we heal Jesus' broken heart? It's through forgiveness. Another priest that I was very fortunate enough to have a conversation with, in which I was talking and even confessing about my inability to forgive other people based on what had happened to me in the past. And what he shared with me was a small, maybe a 6-second prayer, which he says, "God, let me be at peace in leaving the past behind me." So today I say to you, be at peace in letting the past be behind you. Let the past stay in the past. Forgive those who have hurt you, and find a way to extend an olive branch to maybe someone you have hurt, or maybe even someone who has hurt you, and Whether it be an I'm sorry, or I don't even know if you need an I'm sorry. That's what confession is for. Sometimes you just need an I love you. But I think an I'm sorry is pretty helpful too. Maybe an I love you followed with an I'm sorry. Or an I'm sorry followed by I love you. I think it's semantics, and really don't think it matters. But I think if we really want to heal Jesus' broken heart and the wounds that he suffered for us, it's about forgiveness and love. So take someone you love, and almost without question, there's someone you love who can be forgiven for something. And maybe even in turn, you might want to be forgiven for something. And we all ask, day in and day out, forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. So let's not say it today. Let's do it. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a great day. May God bless you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.